Dhritarashtra said, "O Sanjay, after gathering on the holy field of Kurukshetra and desiring to fight, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do?" Sanjay said, "On observing the Pandav army standing in military formation, King Duryodhan approached his teacher Dronacharya and said the following words. Respected teacher, behold the mighty army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arrayed for battle by your own gifted disciple, the son of Drupad. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virao and Drupada. And let's not forget powerful fighters like Dhrishtaketu, Chekitana, and Kashiraja, while Purujit, Kunti Bhoja and Sebya are heroes too in society. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra and the sons of Draupad. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. O best of Brahmans, hear too about the principal generals on our side, who are especially qualified to lead. These I now recount unto you. There are personalities like yourself, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and Vrishrava, who are ever victorious in battle. Also, there are many other heroic warriors, who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. They are all skilled in the art of warfare and equipped with various kinds of weapons. The strength of our army is unlimited and we are safely marshalled by Grandsire Bhishma, while the strength of the Pandav army, carefully marshalled by Bhim, is limited. Therefore, I call upon all the generals of the Kaurava army now to give full support to Grandsire Bhishma, even as you defend your respective strategic points." Then, the grand old man of the Kuru dynasty, the glorious patriarch Bhishma, roared like a lion, and blew his conch shell very loudly, giving joy to Duryodhan. Thereafter, conches, kettle drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns suddenly blared forth, and their combined sound was overwhelming. Then, from amidst the Pandav army, seated in a glorious chariot drawn by white horses, Madhav and Arjuna blew their divine conch shells. Rishikesh blew his conch shell, called Panchjanya, and Arjuna blew the Devdutta. Bhim, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his mighty conch, called Pondra. Son of Kinti, King Yudhishthir, sounded the Anantavijja, while Nakula and Sahadeva blew the Sughosha and Manipushpak respectively. Also blowing their conches were the supreme bowman, the king of Kashi, mighty warrior Shakhandi, Dhrastadyumna, Virata, the invincible Satyaki, together with King Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the Maityanet son of Subhadra. The terrific sound thundered across the sky and the earth, and shattered the hearts of your sons, O Dhritarashtra. Hey Rajan! At that time, the son of Pandu, Arjuna, who had the insignia of Hanuman on the flag of his chariot, took up his bow. Seeing your sons arrayed against him, O king, Arjuna then spoke the following words to Sri Krishna. Arjuna said, "O infallible one, please take my chariot to the middle of both armies, so that I may look at the warriors arrayed for battle, whom I must fight in this great combat. I desire to see those who have come here to fight on the side of the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra, wishing to please him." Sanjay said, "O Dhritarashtra, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, the conqueror of sleep, Sri Krishna then drew the magnificent chariot between the two armies. In the presence of Bhishma, Dronacharya, and all the other kings, Sri Krishna said, 'O Parth, behold these Kurus gathered here.' There, Arjuna could see stationed in both armies his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, cousins, sons, nephews, grandnephews, friends, fathers-in-law, and well-wishers. Seeing all his relatives present there, Arjuna, the son of Kunti, was overwhelmed with compassion and with deep sorrow, spoke the following words. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, seeing my own kinsmen arrayed for battle here and intent on killing each other, my limbs are giving way and my mouth is drying up. My body is shuddering, my hair is standing on end, Gandiva, my bow is falling off my hand, and my skin burns. O Keshava, killer of Keshi demon, my mind is reeling in confusion and I see only bad omens bringing misfortune. How can there be any merit in killing my own kith and kin? O Krishna, I have neither a desire for winning this battle nor a desire for kingdom, nor for happiness. O Krishna, I do not desire victory, kingdom, or the happiness accruing to it. Of what avail will be a kingdom, pleasures, or even life itself, when the very persons for whom we covet them are standing before us for battle? Teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, grandsons, fathers-in-law, grandnephews, brothers-in-law, and other kinsmen are present here, staking their lives and riches. O Madhusudan, I do not wish to slay them, even if they attack me. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, what satisfaction will we derive from the dominion over the three worlds, what to speak of this earth? Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhatranora and our friends. What should we gain, O Kanya, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. When a dynasty is destroyed, its traditions get vanquished, and the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. With the preponderance of vice, O Krishna, the women of the family become immoral, and from the immorality of women, O descendant of Vrishni, unwanted progeny are born. An increase in unwanted children results in hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family. Deprived of sacrificial offerings, the ancestors of such corrupt families also fall. Through the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted progeny, a variety of social and family welfare activities are ruined. O Janardan, Krishna, I have heard from the learned that those who destroy family traditions dwell in hell for an indefinite period of time. Better for me if the sons of Dhatranora, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Saja said. Sanjay said, speaking thus, Arjuna cast aside his bow and arrows, and sunk into the seat of his chariot, his mind in distress and overwhelmed with grief.